Hello, this is Chiak. We are back here with Kathy Rain and her attempt to get Gober to get an electrifying performance to
Hey,
distract
doofus.
the nurse.
Oh, hi.
Okay.
Hey.
Sure.
Maybe the natural bald killers.
Natural bald killers would be the obvious choice.
Bald move.
Oh my goodness, the puns. I think that's sort of...
Fernando, you've been such a good friend. I can't thank you enough for making me whole again. Turn this scalp
Again?
into a
No
breathtaking
thanks.
golden
I'm gonna have to
carpet,
think outside the
such
box.
as the world has never seen. Okay, Doctor. I'm counting down now. 10, 9, 8, 7.
Good idea, but it wouldn't match his
Thank
symptoms.
you, thank you. You've been a great audience.
Oh. Okay, so we have to go for the surprise one. Okay.
Hey,
Oh,
So Kathy's a terrible person.
Hey.
sure.
She's literally just using
How about the usual surprises?
Business.
Okay. Get in there so I can tase you. I doubt this thing is very legal. Her taser, I mean.
I can't believe you guys did all this for me. You know, what's that smell? Bacon? Oh, Bobby, my head hurts. Ah!
Nurse! He's seizing! Oh, shit! Man, I feel like a total jackass. I'll have to make it up to the poor guy later.
Okay, at least she acknowledges that... she acknowledges. Oh, damn.
Employee of the Month, Carlita Mendez. Ugh, what a joke. It's that obnoxious nurse. Employee of the Month, Carlita Mendez. Ugh, what a joke. It's that obnoxious nurse.
Don't tell me her password is 1991.
A calendar from 1991. Guess they really liked that year. Rows and columns of files. Probably easier to use the computer if I need to do some digging. A computer. They like...
Okay. So it's going to be the same thing, C. Mendez. Incorrect password. Okay, so the username is correct. Great. C. Mendez.
A calendar from 1991. Guess they really liked that year. Employee of the Month, Carlita Mendez. Ugh, what a joke. It's that... No thanks. What?
There's nothing else
Uncomfortable.
around here.
Smoking a lap. Was expecting plastic, but this looks like a real plant.
Okay. It's not 1991? Then what do I go for? Oh my goodness, what in the world could the password be? I mean, unless it's like day, month, year, but then there's nothing here to really suggest what could be the day or the month or the year.
calendar from 1991. Guess they really liked that year.
1991.
Was expecting plastic, but this looks like a real plant.
I don't know what to do for this one. To be honest, it's like, what in the world can it be?
Rose and col.
I mean, I don't know.
No point. I wouldn't. Smoking a lot. I prefer to smoke.
Really? You won't even...
I prefer to smoke.
Huh.
I don't want to burn that. I don't see how those things. Employee of the month, Carlita Mendez. What a joke. It's that obnoxious nurse.
Okay, let's see if I just take away the Z. Invalid username. So, okay, I know for a fact that I got the username correct before. Anyone? What's gonna be the password though? I'm literally just typing 1991 over and over and over again. I mean, either way, 1991 is the same backwards and forwards. 9119. 1919. 9191. Computer. Is there anything else?
Uncomfortable, hard plastic chairs. It's like they're intentionally trying to keep people out. A calendar from 1991. Guess they really liked that year.
I mean, I can't see myself spelling out 1991. Maybe I should just try typing in the letters. Typing in 19. Whoops. Huh. I'm wondering if I can get a hint on this because there is nothing in the... I mean, the only thing she'll talk about that has anything that could be possibly the password is the calendar. Because otherwise, the only other information that's given is her name, which is obviously the username. My issue... But then, yeah, and then everything else she comments in the room. I'm curious if I can even walk out. Can I even walk out if I try? I wonder if this has a UHS hint system. No. Ugh. Oh. I totally forgot that I had the blue floppy disk. It's like, oh yeah, that item is in my thing. C. Mendez. Okay. I'm gonna write this down. Otorgador? Okay. Shoot. Do you want the full name? Oh my god, I can't remember the guy's name. Charles Wade. For some reason I was thinking Wade Wilson. I'm like, I know that's not it, but it's the only thing I can think of at the moment. Okay. Date of birth. Referral from Dr. Friedman, St. Francis Medical Center. Patient has undergone successful invasive heart surgery and was transferred to this facility at his own request. The initial prognosis looks good, and the patient is likely to make a full recovery in 6 to 8 weeks. 6B. Okay. No comment? All right, let's head up.
It's all right, Claude.
Understood, sir.
So, you managed to find me.
I did.
Well, let's get this over with then. How do you want your pictures? Shall I get some tubes to fill my face with? Will that suffice for your front page?
I'm no journalist. Well, not yet anyway.
She's but a cub. So, you're hoping for your big break. Surely this must be worth an internship at one of the big papers. Do you want me to call Thompson at the Times and get it over with? I still play golf with him every once in a while.
You're assuming a lot, Mr. Wade.
Guilty as charged. It's a stance I find remarkably effective for a man with little time and a tendency to be correct.
You might want to rethink that attitude. I have a history of surprising people.
Is that so? Very well, I'll indulge you for now. Who are you then?
I'm Kathy Rain. Joseph was my grandfather.
Now I remember. You were at the funeral.
I was.
You were late.
I needed my morning smoke. Besides, it's not like Grandpa was going anywhere.
Oh, just look at her, Claude. She's absolutely fearless. That's Joseph's blood running through her veins.
She certainly has a smart mouth, sir.
I must say, you have me intrigued, Kathy. What can this old man help you with?
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
I wish I did, Kathy. You must know I did everything in my power to help. How do you think Mary Elizabeth could afford all that expensive treatment? MRIs, neurologists, say what you will about Joseph. But he was never rich.
Strange. Grandma never mentioned that to me.
She's just too proud. At first she refused. She was convinced that I had an agenda, that there were strings attached.
And were there?
Don't be silly. Despite all that had happened, I still loved Joseph dearly. I wanted to help. People from places like this have a deeply rooted mistrust in the rich, passed on for generations. In her eyes, I had become one of them.
So that's all you know about the whole affair?
Are you implying that there's more to know? I left the diagnosis to the professionals. Mrs. Rain accepted the health care, but asked me to stay out of everything else. So I did.
I see. What can you tell me about your friendship with Grandpa?
Joseph was the best friend I ever had. We grew up together. married our high school sweethearts together, went to war together. I can't even begin to count the number of times he's saved my life. I repaid the favor once or twice, but he came up ahead, no doubt.
So, when did you two lose touch? I heard that something happened between you and him. What was it?
The truth is, Brian Rain happened. Sharon Evans happened.
My parents?
Yes. They ruined everything with their vile, destructive behavior. I couldn't have that around my daughter or my newborn grandson. Joseph was naive. He believed that anyone could be helped, that anyone could be reasoned with, given a chance. He was just too good, bless him. He should have been harder on Brian, more strict.
I wouldn't mind teaching my old man some manners myself, wherever he is.
Yes, of course. You must understand this better than anyone. People like your father simply cannot grasp how far their bad influence spreads. So our families started drifting apart. Eventually, my company grew much too large for this little town, and we moved on. Not long after that, your grandfather ended up in that wheelchair. That marked the end of our friendship, for obvious reasons.
Do you recognize the call sign Cocky?
Would be strange if I didn't, since I was the one who coined it. It belongs to a fellow named Jimmy Cochran. He was a coward, really. The nickname is somewhat of a bad joke.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay.
You bought a number of paintings by Lily Myers. Why?
I'm known to dabble in art from time to time. Martha, my wife at the time, was enamored with the paintings. I believe she first saw them at the high school which the Myers girl attended. Anyway, after the poor girl killed herself, I bought the paintings speculatively. When a young artist with any talent to speak of commits suicide, it can be a wet dream of certain connoisseurs. Shortly after procuring the art, I had it valued by an expert who determined that the value was 3 times the amount I bought it for. Today, I'm sure I would have made my money back tenfold or more if it wasn't for the art theft.
What art theft?
There was a burglary at the mansion I used to own here in town. It was all over the local news at the time.
Well, shit.
Eloquently put.
Tell me about Jimmy Cochran. Is he still alive?
In a literal sense. He's been held in a mental institution for years.
Let me guess. Since 81?
Either 82 or 83. I'm fairly certain it was early 83.
Do you remember the name of the institution?
Something starting with an E. Emerson, Everton, or similar.
Ingstrom? Ingstrom Psychiatric Hospital?
Yes, that's the one. You know the place, Kathy.
I do. My mother is in there. Sharon Evans? I had her committed about a year ago.
I see. It must have taken a lot of courage to do that, Kathy. Mothers have a lot of power over us. More than most of us care to admit.
I guess so. Do you know why Jimmy ended up in there?
Some obsessive-compulsive syndrome. He became fixated with circles and started hurting himself, trying to scratch the circles out of his head.
Creepy. I wonder what set him off. I think I'll check the place out tomorrow. Too late to head back to the city now. Can you tell me about the art theft?
Well, somebody broke in, stole the paintings, and got out. Fairly clumsy job. Lots of broken windows. The strangest thing was that I had a Monet, a Rembrandt, and 2 paintings by Picasso, untouched. But every single painting by an unknown local artist, gone.
That can't be a coincidence.
Agreed. Somebody wanted those paintings badly.
I assume there was an investigation.
Yes, Sheriff Truman came by with his deputy a few hours later, but they didn't have much luck. They found a few hairs, which turned out to be from Ruffles, the family dog.
Some stunning police work right there.
Indeed. There was a single witness, though, who said he could make out multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime, but nothing more than that.
So, I take it the case was closed?
Yes. I honestly didn't care much one way or the other, given the fact that my most expensive pieces were safe and sound.
I think I'll have a chat with the sheriff about the matter, if that's okay with you.
Certainly. I'll call ahead and instruct him to give you everything you need.
That'd be great. Thanks, Charles.
Anytime. But I'm curious, what's your interest in the paintings?
I've learned that my grandfather went to Sue and asked to see them, right before he had his injury.
Is that so? Strange.
Really? Like, either the police thought it was suspicious that a Picasso and a Rembrandt were not stolen along with the Lily Myers art. But I mean, police detective work aside, like, if there's no evidence, what else can they do?
What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like any other church to me. But then again, I'm not their usual clientele. Weddings, baptisms, and funerals are just about what I can muster. And I always leave early.
Okay.
Thanks, Charles. That's all I need for now.
You're welcome, Kathy. Come back anytime.
That guy is huge. I wonder how many cows he eats per day. I'd rather not. He'd crush me like a twig. Looks like Wade brought some of his old tombs with him. Just some boring landscape paintings.
Okay.
A private phone. Wade must get special privileges here.
That's a phone that looks like a stack of books to me. Okay. Alright, well. Finally got access to Charles Wade. We're gonna have to make it up to Gober, because it's my but yeah, okay. The bike is this way. Alright, so head to the church. I wanna head to the church last. Let's head to the nature reserve.
Well, this is it. This is where the picture was taken. I'm not sure what I expected to find here. I need to clear my head. What the?
We've met before, haven't we?
Nope, just know I remember a creepy bald dude with makeup.
I doubt it. You look like you just escaped from a circus. That's not really my kind of gig.
Yet you always play the part of the clown, Kathy.
Who are you? How do you know my name?
You told me, remember?
I feel strange. Am I dreaming?
It's the mending I will try to facilitate.
You're not real. I'm lying asleep in my bed right now.
Focus, Kathy. Listen to the drowned girl.
You mean Lily? What about her?
She's the anomaly, the missing refrain, the convergence point of things past and events yet to happen.
Dial down the metaphors a notch, would you, Mr. Kafka? I get enough of that shit in English class.
I knew you wouldn't disappoint. I'm glad, given how much trouble I went through to be here. You see, my name was taken from me, so I claimed a color in its stead. The next time we meet, you'll know the exact hue of red. You're on the right path, Kathy. follow your grandfather, and everything will work out in the end.
Wait, what? How did I get here? Am I going crazy? Am I turning into Mom?
What? I mean, what? Did she just walk by the flower and start hallucinating?
Oh, hello, dear. Glad to see you again so soon.
Hi, Grandma. I just thought I'd drop by.
Sure, hon. Stay as long as you'd like.
But seriously, what the hell?
Mind if we talk for a bit, Grandma?
Not at all, dear. What's on your mind?
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is? He was a friend of Grandpa's.
I believe he teaches at the flight school these days.
I don't think so, at least not anymore. I was told he was placed in a mental facility.
Really? He always struck me as a kind man. Maybe a bit nervous and on edge, but not crazy.
There's more. I found out that Jimmy asked Grandpa for help not long before Grandpa ended up in that wheelchair. Jimmy sounded really desperate. I'm sure what happened to Grandpa that night had something to do with his cry for help.
You should go find the man then. Surely he must know something.
That's the plan. I just wondered if there's anything else you think I should know about him.
Not really. We haven't stayed in touch since Joseph was injured. I know that he had a wife, Agatha, and a son, James. Agatha passed away from cancer years ago, but as far as I know, James still lives in the city with his family.
Okay, thanks, Grandma. I don't see a reason to ask her about that.
Okay.
See you later, Grams.
It's
Take care, dear.
call the Air Force Base and see if we can get any info on Jimmy Cochran. More info on Jimmy. Because we're not going to be seeing him until she heads back or something like that.
McConnell Air Force Base, how can I help you?
Hi, I was just wondering,
Sure thing, ma'am. Ask away.
do you know anything about a pilot named Jimmy Cochran? He was assigned to your base during World War II. Maybe even longer?
Hold on, let me check. Yes, Jimmy Cochran, fighter pilot born 1922, tour of duty in Japan from 41 to 42, honorably discharged for health reasons. Spent some time as a civilian pilot elsewhere in the U.S. until he returned to the flight academy here in the capacity of a teacher. Mr. Cochran was the major proponent of opening up the academy to civilian students. He continued teaching at this base until a sudden resignation in 1983 for unspecified reasons.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
All right, that's all.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Okay. So in 1983, he resigned. Got put into the hospital. Wonder what happens if we go to the nature preserve. So we need to talk to the officers, but we also need to investigate this church.
Hello, Father.
Greetings, my child. I'm glad you decided to come here.
Yeah, but just so you know, I'm not here to join your church or anything.
Oh, I would never assume that.
Good. So, with that out of the way, I have some questions.
Anything you need. I'm Isaac Price.
Kathy Rain, but I'm guessing you figured that out already.
I did. Rumors spread quickly around here. So how can I be of service?
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in 81?
It was the work of the devil, I'll say that much. Joseph was a kind man. He did not deserve such a fate. You heard my speech at the funeral, Kathy. I meant every word. He was a great man who did much good for this community.
Did you know him personally?
In a way, he and my father did charity work together. Joseph was around a lot when I was young. They collaborated on a few different projects for the homeless and for the troubled youth, among other things.
So my grandfather was a member of the church?
I wouldn't say that, no. He was a friend of the church, but he wasn't a religious man. He believed only in philanthropy. That being said, Joseph was the person who convinced me to become a priest.
Really?
Oh yes, I was a teenager back then, full of rebellion, every fiber of my being wanting to distance myself from my father. Joseph made me realize my sinful pride and showed me how I should follow my heart regardless of what others might think. And for that, I'm eternally grateful.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
I don't recognize that name, no.
Okay.
Does the name Lily Myers mean anything to you?
It does. I was a substitute teacher in her high school for some time before I was ordained.
Really? Did you know her personally?
We weren't close. I only knew her as much as a teacher would know any student.
All right, so how did she seem toward the end?
For one, she started skipping school a lot, and when she did show up, she was absent-minded and moody. She always looked depressed and hunched down like she had a whole world on her shoulders.
Any idea of what caused this change?
Not a clue. All I know is that when she returned from that last summer break, she was a whole different person.
Okay, so it happened during summer break.
Do you know anything about an art theft at the Wade estate in the 80s?
I have just a vague memory of reading about it in the paper.
Care to tell me the history of the church?
I'd be happy to. The story is a fascinating one. This church was founded by my father, William T. Price, in the 70s. Back then, he made his living as a traveling salesman and was driving through this area as he'd done so many times before. However, this day was different. My father held dark thoughts in his mind. He was angry, thinking of evil deeds, even considering swerving off the road into a rock and ending it all. Then suddenly, divine intervention. 3 bright lights appeared. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, the sign of God. This epiphany was the moment my father had been waiting for. He sold all of his belongings and took me and my brother to live with him here in Conwell Springs. Soon thereafter, he built this church and started gathering followers. They began to refer to him as Father Bill.
I take it that window up there resembles what he saw when he had this epiphany?
Indeed. The stained glass window depicts the Holy Trinity as witnessed by my father.
Do you know exactly when or where this event took place?
Why do you ask?
Oh, just curious. It's a captivating story.
Well, it was in the spring of 1971, but my father never told anyone where.
Okay, so what happened then?
People flocked to Father Bill. He started teaching, writing scripture. The church flourished and continued to grow all the way up until his sudden death in 1983. That's when I stepped in to take leadership of the church.
I take it that the church started declining after the death of Father Bill?
Yes, naturally so. With such a magnetic personality, he was irreplaceable. But I assure you the church is still very much thriving.
Looks kinda empty to me.
It's not really our peak hours.
What's up with you handing out pamphlets at funerals then? Trying to reel people in at a weak moment?
I'm going to assume you meant no disrespect, child. I'm simply providing divine guidance when it's needed the most.
That's all I need for now, Father.
May the Lord shine his light on you.
Impressive window. There's no doubt about it. Those are the smoky lights. It's an altar. You know, the place where they put the sacrificed goats, kids, and other crap.
Sacrifice goats.
Could lead to a sacristy or a closet of some kind.
I don't imagine we can just...
Could lead to a sacristy or a closet of some kind. Locked. A bunch of red Bibles stacked in neat rows. I really shouldn't. They might burn.
Okay. So...
Locked.
Okay, there's nothing else for us to do here then. Whether or not we have to come back, that is a different story. So I say let's head to the police station. I'm tempted to go back to see what the hell, since like what happened. Hey ho, Sheriff.
Hello, Sheriff. Mind if I ask you a few more questions?
If you must.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
Nope.
I don't need to ask him that.
Okay, good.
Do you know anything about the art theft in the Wade estate?
Yes, Mr. Wade phoned ahead about that. Lenny,
Yes, boss.
get the report from the burglary in the Wade estate back in '86.
On it, boss. There you go, Kathy.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay. So let's see. At 1:12 a.m., the alarm in the Wade estate is triggered. The house is empty at the time, and the neighbors contact law enforcement. 2:04, officers arrive at the scene. Several broken windows can be observed. A sweep of the estate and surrounding premises reveal no trace of the perpetrators. A single witness identified as Franklin Goldfarb reports seeing multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime. Charles Wade arrives in Conwell Springs to make an official statement. After examining the house, he reports that paintings with an excess value of $15,000 have been stolen. I'm assuming this is supposed to be PM, not AM. The art in question has not yet popped up in any circles that are known to deal with stolen goods, terminating investigation due to lack of leads. Okay.
I gotta find this Goldfarb guy. Maybe he knows more about the burglary. Hey, Lenny.
Hello, Kathy. What's up?
Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
Sounds familiar, but I can't place him.
Okay.
Well, gotta go.
See ya.
Actually, curious if I can ask him about the
Hey,
Trinity.
Hello, Kathy.
Nah, I don't want.
Okay.
Nah, I don't.
Let's just get rid of.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
Not really, Kathy. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, gotta go.
See
So
ya.
let's ask about Goldfarb. Don't imagine he's going to be of much help, considering
Hello, Sheriff.
when he took
If
the
you
post.
must.
Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
Never heard of him. Anything else?
That's it.
That's all for now.
Good.
So, I'm tempted to go back to the nature reserve, and see maybe what the hell happened to us. Oh, what?
Hello? Creepy bald guy. Guess no one's home.
Piece of paper.
That wasn't here before. What's this?
A ripped drawing. The Red Man.
A bald man dressed in red. Oh, creepy.
And that can fit with something else. What else can we...
Why did someone leave this at the nature reserve? Looks like a specimen of the red scythe.
Are we seriously just going to pick it up?
It's endangered. I'm not gonna take it without a really good reason.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was about to question there. I'm like, it's kind of an endangered plant. You could... I know for a fact, like, in, like Jasper National Park, you can't just go around picking up any of the flora, any of the flora. It's not good. Okay. So a few, less than a minute left really, but let's just ask about, see if she knows about Goldfarb.
Mind if we talk?
Not at all.
Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean it?
Oh, that poor man. He used to be an upstanding citizen, you know. Now he's constantly drinking and keeps babbling on about that imaginary acting career of his.
Sad thing. Do you know where I can find him?
He's homeless, dear. Lost his job a few years ago and never really got back on his feet.
Okay, now I know who you're talking about. Thanks, Grandma.
I was wondering if...
Looks like I'm gonna have to have a chat with Goober.
And apologize for tasering him.
See you later, Grams.
Take care, dear.
I was wondering, I was like, is it the possibility that he might be the guy we just tasered? Turns out that is the case. I guess we'll head back to the clinic next set. Otherwise, I am going to have to end the set here. So, thank you for liking if you like. Thank you for commenting if you commented. Thank you for subscribing if you subscribed. Thank you for favoriting if you favorited. And thank you for simply clicking on this video. Until next time, guys. See ya!